Chess teaches you that if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. It doesn't matter if it's the smallest mistake. It doesn't matter if you just took too long to think to make the right move and you ran out of time on the clock. At some point, you fucked up for you to lose that game. It's 100% accountability with no luck. That's what's so important about learning chess. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, you need to, as a man, adopt the mindset that absolutely everything that happens to you is completely and utterly your fault, whether it's good or bad. And most men don't have that. Most men don't have that. When the Matrix was attacking me and they were destroying me, when they're calling up my exes trying to get fake fucking charges on me and put me in jail. When they closed my bank accounts and I used $10, $11 million, when they banned me on across all social medias and lie about me, when they harassed my family, I'm sitting there going, this is my fault. All of this is me. I got here. It's my fault. I'm not going, that was unfair. It was orchestrated. The NGOs worked against me. Because that is not helpful.
So it's accountability.
It's 100% accountability in all things.
I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
Candy?
You already know if I'm going to take it?
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antione Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video is going to be about Andrew Tate. I think I did about 3 videos on him. Not really my most popular videos, but I just was looking in on whatever stuff that he was entwined with. Now, this video that I'm going to share by Joker, and there's other people that cover his stuff as well, but most of them are haters or they oppose his opinion. And not to say that I agree with him either, but he is the perfect example of a broke clock can be right twice in a day. And by that, I mean, there are things that he says that is correct, but at the same time, whether it's self-snitching, whether it's things that he says that contradict, and I don't think a lot of people know the full story with him. And even those that know the full story with him, his faithful followers, they turn a blind eye to the atrocious things that he does. Now, I say this in some of my videos, that this is one thing that I hate with society, where it's politics, whether it's people that we know in everyday life. It always seems that if you are cool with a person, or you admire a person, or you look up to a person, when it comes out that they say something or they did something real foul, they messed people over or did people dirty, you will turn a blind eye to that person, like, no, it wasn't like that. Those people was too sensitive. Whatever thing that you will do to defend them. And that's not to say just to turn your back on them if you totally support what they are doing. But if a person deletes a person, and unless if I know that that person that they deleted has hurt their family, tried to hurt them, it was self-defense, then maybe I can somewhat understand. But even if I knew the person and I'm cool with the person and they deleted a person in cold blood, whether it was another man or woman, their previous spouse, same thing goes for women, then I have to look at them like, wow, I guess I've never really known them. Anyway, I'm going to share Joker's video right now. He has a long video. So, and he says a lot of, well, there's a lot of tasty things that he shares in this. And plus, I'm going to try to limit my talking as well. So I'm going to try to keep this video within that 30-minute range, because I realize a lot of you people have lives. And don't forget, I have lots of videos on my channel of various lengths. I do have to admit my last 100 videos are at least about a half an hour long, but there are some that's like 10 and 15, 22. Usually I go by what I notice most people are clicking on, but it also goes by when I'm trying to explain a point. I'm not trying to go viral on something that I say that's misunderstood, even though that would help me, but at the same time, it would put me in a certain box, and I'm not sure if I want to pick the box that I'm getting placed in. So anyway, let's begin.
Andrew Tate has been placed under house arrest as new trafficking allegations emerge involving minors. They say in Bucharest. This is from just a couple days ago. Bucharest, Romania. A court in Romania's capital Thursday placed the divisive internet influencer Andrew Tate under house arrest for 30 days as prosecutors investigate a sprawling new case that involves allegations of trafficking of the PDF files. The Bucharest tribunal decision comes a day after prosecutors detained 6 people, including Tate, 37, and his brother, Tristan Tate, 36, after masked police raided 4 homes in Bucharest and nearby Ilfov County. Prosecutors had asked the court to remand the brothers in custody for 30 days. Tristan's been placed under judicial control, which typically involves geographical restrictions and reporting periodically to the police. In other words, house arrest. The brother's spokesperson, Matea Petrescu, responded to the decision by saying the judge denied prosecutors' requests due to the brothers' exemplary behavior while previously under preventive arrests measures in a separate case, and that they firmly deny all of the allegations against them and remain steadfast in proving their innocence. The Tate brothers, both former kickboxers and dual British U.S. citizens, are already awaiting trial in Romania in a separate trafficking case, along with 2 Romanian women. Romanian prosecutors formally indicted all 4 last year. In the new case, Romania's anti-organized crime agency, DIICOT, said it is investigating allegations of trafficking, including the trafficking of minors, PDF stuff, forming an organized criminal group, money laundering, and influencing statements. The alleged crimes date between 2014 and 2024. I'll say this much. Let me say this much. I don't know all the age laws that are in the countries where they were. I don't know what they're actually going to be indicted for, but I will say this. You notice here they said these things date between 2014 and 2024. Why didn't they do anything against the Tates in 2014?
Well, that I did not know. I did not know that he has a history of doing that, and the government or the powers that be already knew what he was doing and they did nothing. Now, was he supplying them with these girls to be talking to, or was some of those people his clients? Not him personally, but they was talking to the women that he was behind. Now, that right there is going to come up later in the video when Joker explains this, so let's keep going.
And 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and 20. Why didn't they do anything for a decade? It's because now the Tates are well known. They're very popular with young men, and they have opinions against feminism and leftism and being a weak man and being able to be influenced. And they talk about the matrix and the power of the governments. And I think now governments view them as a threat. And that is why they're now going after them. They didn't care what they did before then. But now that they've got the ear of 14 million young men, now they got some issues with them. They say the DIICOT said the defendants used coercive loverboy method to take advantage of 34 vulnerable women who were forced to produce material for a fee online, and that more than 2.8 million euros it generated was kept by the defendants. An unnamed foreign man also exploited a 17-year-old foreigner, DIICOT alleges, and said he kept all of the 1.5 million made from the criminal activity. The same man repeatedly had relations and acts with someone of an underage status. Outside of the court, after the judges issued his house arrest measure, Andrew Tate told reporters that many of the alleged women in this new case have statements in the Tate brothers' defense. This is a setup. It's absolutely disgusting. Fair play to the judge who saw all through all of this BS and let us free, he said. Andrew Tate, who has 9.9 million followers on the social media platform X, is known for expressing misogynistic views online and has repeatedly claimed that prosecutors have no evidence against him and there's a political conspiracy to silence him. He was previously banned from various social media platforms for misogynistic views and hate speech. During the entire criminal process, the investigated persons benefit from the procedural rights and guarantees provided by the Code of Criminal Procedure. The police also took their motorcycles, laptops, 30, they say here 16, but I think it's up to 32 luxury vehicles, thousands of dollars in cash, luxury watches, and data storage drives. Now, I don't know about you, but that does sound like you're basically robbing them. It sounds like you're robbing them. And they go on to their previous cases. Okay, so let me pull up some other stuff here. Now, these are some various clips that I'm going to play from Andrew Tate. They should not be out of context. I don't remember all of them, but I will play as many of them as I can. And these are the statements that people are listening to. So let's separate this into two categories. Did he probably piss off some elites and talking about the matrix and talking about, you know, the governments and yes. Does he make people mad talking about women? Yes. However, has he made some statements that really do not shine a good light on him and his person about the age of women he's having working for him? Also, yes. I'm just gonna play a few of these statements so you guys can hear what we other people hear that makes them say, I don't think this is a very good guy anymore.
I'm all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually.
Okay. He changed the age of the women based on what he thought the law was. Do you understand that? Like if I say, oh, she was 15, or wait, no, 16, or wait, 18, whatever's legal in the United States. That's not what you say if you were actually with somebody of the correct age. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you don't change the age based on what the law is in the area. And there's a lot more than this, but we're just warming up a little bit.
I'm all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16.
All right, in Romania, 16, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm all these 18-year-old women, blah, blah, blah.
16.
All right, in Romania, 16.
So he says 16 is Romania, then why did he say 15? You don't actually say the wrong number. You know what I mean? Like I would never accidentally say 13. Like it just, that's not a thing that happens if we're being honest with each other.
The ones who are really in love with you won't do that. You actually have to downplay your relationship with the girl of 6 years, which is difficult. And I only get away with that because the girl of 6 years plays along. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. And we met and we felt whatever, we're in love. But when a new girl comes, she'll go, oh yeah, I started off working for him and it's just how it worked out. She'll super downplay us. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21.
Okay, so he says Vivian's like 21 and he's been with her for 6 years. I don't know about you, but if you know anything about math, 21 minus 6 is 15. And he's previously said 15 a couple of different times. This is where people are saying, okay, this isn't good. You see what I'm saying?
Vivian's younger. She's more fun, more outgoing. Melissa's really quite, not in a bad way. She's more homey, boring, sits at home. So the ones who are...
Okay, so there's that one. Again, you guys can have the arguments. You guys can have the discussion about this. I'm just bringing up what myself and others are hearing coming out of Andrew's own mouth that makes us have a very negative opinion of him now. It's his own words out of his own mouth. So
the self-snitching is off the chain. I never saw someone that would definitely say that they did certain things or was involved in certain things and they are still walking free. Now, of course, he does keep getting arrested, having court cases, but this is why I have this theory that Andrew Tate might have been a plant, because in a plant, they use that term in the music industry when they have a person that you're looking at. How are they this popular? Why are they getting pushed out there that much? Now, in his case, he does have a thing because him and his brother were kickboxing and they had a career doing that. And then, of course, they moved into finessing men out of their money using young women. And that's the funny thing right there. He's saying how he will do people. And this is the thing that always boggles my mind. It will always still be women that want to date a man like this, and it will always be men that will want to follow him.
Can a couple things be true at once? Can the governments be going after him because he slapped back at Greta Thunberg? Yes. Can they be going after him because he's, I wouldn't say, let's go ahead and say misogynistic, because that's what they're saying. Could they be going after him for that? Yes. Could they be going after him because he's influencing young men? Yes. Could they also be looking into it because out of his own mouth, he said he's having not correct relationships? Yes. And he might have been low profile where they didn't even care up until he got the eyes from people in government and people higher up, and they decided to put a target on his back. All these things can be true at once. Can he also be saying some things that are positive, that are good about masculinity and about women's nature to young people? Yes. You can do all these things at the same time. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying.
Andrew, don't your girls have your name tattooed on them?
20 girls have my name tattooed on them.
And how many girls have your name on them now?
22. I got 20. I'm on 22.
22. Oh man.
He wanted me to get his name tattooed at all costs.
He wanted me to tattoo his name on me.
Yeah, the branding actually comes up in the 86-page document that was obtained from Romania. Let me read part of that. It says the criminal activities of these defendants are a form of slavery, according to the prosecutor's office, like 19th century U.S. slave owners who branded their slaves with a red iron.
Now, this is way over the top dramatic, but again, I'm playing what other people are seeing that is forming their opinion on Andrew Tate. I'll talk a little bit about it after this video.
Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate defendants brand their victims with tattoos indicating that they are the defendant's property. For example, they have tattoos with the message, owned by Tate.
A lot of these girls that are trafficked, will brand them to show ownership. It's a sign of ownership. And so they come here and we either lighten and remove them, or we have affiliates where they can go to get them covered with something beautiful. The tattoos can come in a form of a name, a symbol, numbers, dates, crowns. It all signifies the ownership of the.
And that's why I teach in my course as well. Like, yeah, getting the girl is the first 10% of the game.
Having a girl tattoo your name on her, is the other 90%.
That's about 90% of the tattoo game. I'll say to the girl, well, you're serious about it. She goes, yeah, I'm serious. I said, why don't you tattoo my name on it? She goes, oh, because we're going to split up. I was like, well, I thought you were serious. Well, I am. Are you going to cheat? No, I'm not going to cheat, but you might cheat. So what? So if I talk to a girl, you're going to leave me? That's not. I thought you were loyal. Well, I am loyal. So then if you're loyal to me, you're a good girl. You do as I say. Why are we going to split up? Well, we're not. Then what's the problem with the tattoo?
I just say to the girl, like, are we going to be together forever? She goes, well, I hope so. I said, well, I don't believe in hopes. It's yes or no. She goes, well, I want to. I said, well, if you genuinely want to, then why wouldn't you get it on her? Take over everything. No one's driving my cars but me. It's like my women. Put my name on them. Like, done. You don't want them anymore. They sit at home while I play with the younger ones.
Gosh, that's something. That you want to talk about ownership? There you go.
Yes, this is hyped up and it's very dramatic. But if there's allegedly, out of his own words, 20 to 25, and in a text, 30 to 35, supposedly in a text that have his name on them, and then he says, "Well, get your name, put my name on you, so as proof that we'll be together forever." Well, he's obviously not together forever with 20 or 35 women. Granted, he's slept around with a lot of them and has been very personal with a lot of them. But look, we can say again, multiple things can be true. Do I think a lot of women today do things that are very unhealthy and very negative and make dating virtually impossible and are not good for relationships when it comes to these kind of things? Yes. Can it also be true that Andrew Tate took advantage of women when they were very young and impressionable, and they saw that he was braggadocious and had these cars and had the money, and that he promised they would be making millions of dollars if they came and worked for him, and that he loved them and he was going to take care of them? Yes. That, again, two things can be true at once. And I know a lot of people, are very, very strongly disagree with Andrew Tate, and some people think he does some good things. I think two things can be true at once. This is a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to play this, but this is when he was talking with Candace Owens.
Oh yeah, before I forget, while he's talking to Candace Owens, I'm talking about Andrew Tate is talking to Candace Owens. I did see a chunk of that interview, not the whole interview, but I noticed he's always doing this, but down. Now, supposedly that is supposed to be some sort of a Freemason symbol. Look, I'm not going to get into the conspiracy stuff. With me, I always believe anything's possible. Okay, I already think that this man is probably a plant. Somebody placed him there to distract men in another type of way. So instead of women shaking their butt, you have a guy telling you what you want to hear. And I'm like this. I don't think that's healthy for women, having somebody just tell a woman what they want to hear and pumping them up, but at the same time leading them astray. And I don't think I think it'd be catastrophic when that's done to men. Okay, when we being led the wrong way, because that can cause wars and lots of other things. And I can't say certain people's name, but when certain people get a platform and they get a lot of people to follow them, and they're really on some negative stuff, that can spiral a bit out of control. Now, something else I want to expound on. But once again, look at a lot of times when Andrew Tate is talking, he does this triangle and it's supposed to be like a symbol of power. Now with this man that's supposed to be a man's man, believing in self-improvement, empowerment for men, why would you have to do this particular thing? Is it a signal to let other people know that he is down with the Matrix? Or is it some other thing that he's doing here? I mean, there's some other men that also do that particular thing. And there's some other videos that I might share a link that they explore, that they believe that Andrew Tate is a Freemason or he's in some type of group like that. Now, neither here nor there. Whether he's in the group or not in the group, a lot of things don't seem to add up. As I say before, I do use some of his stuff because I believe in some of the things that he says, some of the things that he say, but he says a lot of stuff that I disagree with, and especially with this stuff with exploiting young women. And of course, he was a little younger then, but he was still what, pushing 30 around that time. Okay, so let's continue.
I'm going to speed this up just a little bit because it is 6 minutes.
What's your webcam business?
Yes. Okay, that's too fast. Let me slow that down a little bit. He's talking about his webcam business and some other things here.
So I stopped having any involvement with it, I think 8 to 9 years ago.
The last 2 to 3 years I've been making money on OnlyFans from its inception all the way up till now. I'm currently filming this during the COVID pandemic.
And I ended up opening a webcam company where girls would sit on a laptop and they would talk to guys on the internet for money. That's what they would do.
It's like, you know what? I'm taking over. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking.
The girls would sit there fully clothed or a bikini.
The girls were just famoosers, just laughing and doing this. The out.
One, I intimately understand the relationship between men and these websites.
And they were talking to ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it.
I want you to understand what he's saying here, guys. I want you to understand what he's saying here. He put these pretty women on camera with unplugged keyboards, and it was him and his friends on the keyboards hustling other men.
Now, part of it, I think, is because he's outspoken, he's brash, he's confident, he don't give a fuck, and he tells you how it is. I think on some level, men respect that more because a lot of times when people are sugarcoating stuff, even being nice, they tend to not say what needs to be said. And I think in most men's case, they'd rather, this is the reason why I think a certain presidential candidate gets a lot of support because he tells it how it is. And that I do understand. Do I want somebody that's going to pretend that they are an angel and pretend that they are such a good person, and meanwhile they are stabbing me in the back, and I'm more open to their manipulation? Or do I want a person that's honest, telling you how it is, even if they're kind of abrasive? I have to admit, I do respect a person that's more like that. But however, as I say before, when certain black women will say they want a real end, or they like this type of dude, they like thugs and hoodlums. Well, they won't say hoodlums, but they like those types of dudes. And I thank them for their honesty. But I go the other way because I'm no longer interested, because that is not the type of woman I want to be with, and I'm not the type of man that they are looking for. So the lesson here is he's telling you how he is, and for people to wake up. Now, I'm not a hater of him because there are some things I agree with what he's saying. But at the same time, I had to look at his overall work in the social media world. And while he has said some things positive for men, I don't know if it's really genuine or an act, because he already says that he doesn't really care. He will take all man's money that he can take, and he will use a woman as much as she can use her until he's done with her. So I don't know. I choose not to really deal with people like that. if they're saying something that I do agree with, I will have to give that to them. Like, okay, you are right there. But on the other hand, I can't trust them, and I can't rock with them like that. Me personally.
Now, can you're going to hear me say this a lot. Can two things be true at the same time? Because there's a lot in this community of guys that feel two ways about this, right? And some people will say, I think it's fine. He was playing these losers, these chumps, these suckers. He was playing them and taking their money. But here's my side of it. These are young men that want intimacy, and they're lonely, and they want friendship, and they want someone to talk to, and they want to feel seen by a girl. And that's why they're probably paying the money, because maybe they're unattractive enough that they don't get attention from women. Maybe they don't have any friends. Maybe they don't have a good community of men to give them support. But here they're thinking, hey, there's this cool girl who's, I don't know, maybe she says she's into video games. Because remember, it's him and his friends suckering these young men to take their money. This is Andrew Tate hurting other guys. That's how I see it. Do you understand? Now, I know a lot of you say, hey, I don't care. But look, we are in a healthy place. We are in a healthy place. Is it better to help those guys by shaming them, making fun of them, trying to help them become socially adapted to where they don't go into this stuff? Or do you just rake them out of money until not only are they alone and they feel like they got played, but they're also broke? To me personally, I don't feel that is a good way to be a man. That's how I feel about it.
And seen men give away their life savings to girls they've never met. I've watched and I've seen it.
They come and say, well, what kind of, all of it. We're milking them dry.
And I actually think a lot of the insights I give,
I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all.
a lot of the things I tell the world about the male mental health crisis.
You never feel bad or no?
No, to give a solitary about men being so constantly lonely.
We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models. Serious, big time in love, right? Sending crazy money. And they were convinced they were going to meet the chick. This is almost where I kind of felt bad.
About how important it is to build yourself into a high value man.
Because they were like, can we meet? I've sent you $200,000. Can we meet? Can we meet? Can we meet?
But how money alone is not enough.
What was the most that one person sent to a model? Total.
Million?
Wow. Wow.
About a mil in about a year?
You don't feel bad at all.
Why the f would I care?
I don't feel bad either.
So, thank you.
I explain all these things. A lot of these are lessons from the webcam days. I saw dudes who had a whole bunch of money, no other attributes, and they ended up on these websites spending hundreds of thousands of dollars because they didn't have anything else.
But, so, the girl would be online for 6 or 7 hours, but then when she logged off, was sleeping or whatever, on her WhatsApp, I'd have staff. She was online 24 hours a day, her WhatsApp or this. She was famoosing when she was asleep. We were bringing money for
This is what the powers that be want. They want to make sure that the male populace is as docile as possible, and they do that with a large array of weapons, and they do that with a web of tools, and I believe that I'm the counter to that, which is the reason I ended up attacked in the first place. I think I can anticipate the question you're going to ask. How do I reconcile with the fact that I used to produce or degree from content?
Now men are writing to you, like, how do I...
And now men are trying to escape it.
Yeah.
These girls, they don't have a man tell them what to do properly, they're lazy, and they end up making a few bucks, maybe at that, and they stay on the very, very bottom of the pile. You don't want that. You bought this course, you want to make your money back, and you want to continue to make money for a long time, so you want your girls to be elite. I'm going to teach you how to do that.
Here's my dislike with Andrew Tate and his way he's doing this. First, he got rich. He made money off of taking advantage of women and suckering men. And when that scam ended, he made his money by being a life coach and trying to help men get away from the very thing he was doing prior. He's making it's almost like making money by selling weapons to both people on both sides of the battlefield. That's like selling things to Russia and selling these things to Ukraine so that they can attack each other. So he's basically used everybody that's ever been involved with him. And I'll let the video finish, but I want you to remember this point, guys. Any of you that say, you know what, good for him. He suckered those loser women. He suckered those men. He got the money. He got the power. He got rich. Good for him. Here's my argument to you. You're not happy when the government does it to you. You're not happy when the government lies to you and suckers you. You're not happy when the government takes your taxes at the end of a hole puncher, and says you must do this or we'll throw you in jail. You don't like it when the government has power over you. Well, how do you think it feels to be any of the people that have been involved with Andrew Tate in any way, shape, or form, and finding out you just got suckered by this guy? That you can't have both ideas at the same time. You can't feel it's okay that Andrew Tate does all this horrible stuff, but it benefits him, and then get angry when the government does all this horrible stuff, but it benefits them. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
If you're okay with Andrew Tate taking with manipulation and power and conning suckers and dumb people, then when the government does something you don't like, you've just been suckered and conned the same way that Tate does it. It's the same kind of mindset. It's I'm going to take what I want with power and lies and manipulation. That's leftist thinking. It's all about power. Screw everybody else. It's all about power. That's the same that the left is doing to us. I don't see how you can keep both mindsets okay of, well, Andrew, I don't care if Andrew Tate does it to all those people, but I also don't like it when our government does. Like, it's the same thing. It's all about power. That's my opinion on it, at least.
You should avoid, if you're a dishonest person, if you lie, if you're going to deceive me, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Okay. There it is out of his own mouth. If you scam, if you lie, if you deceive, I don't want anything to do with you. So why should we support him using his own argument against himself? You're a scammer. You're a liar. People should, if you're a masculine man listening to Andrew Tate's own advice to stay away from scammers and liars and manipulators, then in his own words, you should avoid Andrew Tate because he's a scammer, a liar, and a manipulator. He's said both things. He says, I scam, I lie, I don't care. And then he also says, you should avoid scammers and liars. In his own words, he's telling you why you should stay away from him. It's a new scam.
Because we were really good at sides. Yeah, poking him to the point where you go like, you're a scammer, you scam me, you're really mad. I can't believe you think I was a scammer. I was going to come. I went to the embassy. You're a liar. You should avoid, if you're a dishonest person, if you lie, if you're going to deceive me, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I don't want to have anything to do with you. The guy would get pissed off, right, and leave, stop tipping her, stop coming to her. But for these men, that's the only chick in the world, the only hot chick in the world who talks to him. Maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes 2 weeks, maybe it takes 3 weeks. He's in bed at night, alone, jerking off, looking at her old videos and pictures, watching her stream again from another account so she can't see it's him, sitting there going, maybe she was going to come. Maybe I just got too mad when she had a headache. Maybe I should have been
taking advantage of lonely men.
Friend.
It's a scumbag thing.
Of the time, in less than 3 months, they'd be back with an apology, a brand new pile of money, and the cycle would repeat. We fucking killed the game. Millions of dollars a week. And it was not just because I had beautiful girls. It's not because webcam is easy. It's because I am a genius, and I put together an apparatus of genius behind the avatar of beauty, and we fucking conquered the internet. It's all massively hypocritical.
So, my takeaway from listening to Andrew Tate's own words is that he played the game very well. He manipulated women. He manipulated lonely men. He manipulated sad men. He played the game. And then when that game was up and he was under fire or under pressure from governments or from the women, he just moved on to a new grift, which is now I'm going to get money from people joining my How to Be a Real Man and how to learn from these women, and now I'm going to be the positive role model after milking the men that were struggling and having problems. So he's a scumbag in my opinion. He's a scumbag in my, I try to stay neutral on this stuff, but if you're okay with doing what he did by taking advantage of stupid people or young people or lonely men or whatever, then then you believe it's okay to take whatever you want by force or by manipulation or by lying, and therefore you're not a good person. You can't say you're a good person, but you also think what he did was funny and based and cool. The two just don't go together. They don't.
Okay, that was Joker, and he was absolutely correct. And I agree with him. See, with things like this, because I always see both viewpoints in an argument. So technically I'm neutral, but I understand that you have to take a side eventually. I believe that Andrew Tate, there are things that he says that is true, especially about men standing up for themselves, not putting up with bullshit, self-help stuff. He is correct with that type of stuff. That's the only thing. When I share his clips, those are the only things that I share. Those are the only things that I agree with. Now, I cannot follow this man on any social media platform because most of the stuff that he says, I cannot rock with. But a clip here and there, that's why I do share some of his clips. That's why one of his clips is at the beginning of one of my intro videos, because I like what he said. What he said was true. Even Pearl and the other one, I can't think of that mixed girl's name, and that other woman that was there with sunglasses had to admit that he was correct. That's why they was all laughing. So Joker pretty much said everything that I'm saying right now. I'm just saying, that's why I say in this space, because everybody's situation is different. If your situation is not matching with what I am saying, Coach Greg Adams is saying, Joker is saying, what anybody is saying, then think for yourself. I will always say, always think for yourself, because sometimes people can be wrong, especially in your situation. Now, I will admit, in Coach Greg Adams' case, most of the things that he said, because he plays the long game with time, saying, okay, Coach Greg Adams is basically like the casino. You can go there and win, but eventually you're going to lose. Your luck's going to eventually run out. That's why I was heavily influenced by him, because most of his arguments, you will never be able to totally kibosh, because he's playing time that eventually is going to fail. But for people that are in happy relationships, I'm rooting for you that you two will stay together. Maybe not happy, but you will work it out. You will get over the hump in your struggles, because that is worth it if both of you are doing that particular thing. But getting back to the Andrew Tate thing, that's all I really have to say about that. As I say, some things I agree with is like the same thing with the sprinkle lady, or even toxic women out there. There are some things that they will say that is correct about men. Now, not painting all men under the same brush, but there are things that they will say that is true. And that's the same thing with Andrew Tate. Some things that he say is true. But knowing this whole story here, just because there are especially young men that like him, admire him, they will look past all of the stuff that he said on video. And of course, I understand how men are. We are like this. If it's not us, a lot of us don't care. Not all of us, because I don't think like that. Especially knowing how similar, like circle of life, it comes back to eventually affect you. But some of you have to learn the hard way. And that's why I always say, treat people how you would want them to treat you, or treat everybody with respect. Eventually, it'll come back to you. And if they are trying to get over on you, then check them. Another thing that I can say is seeing how Andrew Tate move. Stop falling for that particular shit. because I believe he's not the only one. He didn't invent that. There are plenty of men that are masquerading as women, or they have women working for them, and they are the ones pulling the strings and taking your money. Let's stop that in 2024. And that's pretty much it. Give me a like and subscribe, and have a good day.
It's disrespect that starts the school shooter bullshit. It's disrespect that makes men go to jail for life sentences. When you truly disrespect a man in a public and permanent way, that's when they switch. That's why I'm so respectful in public. You don't know who the fuck you're talking to. He might be on his last fucking straw. And you just disrespected, hey, you're a fucking bitch anyway, you're skinny motherfucker, fuck you. You don't know. That might be the last time he heard it. I've had enough. You don't know. Disrespect is dangerous. And in a household where you're constantly disrespecting a man, he's going to end up depressed and sad for even accepting. Men just want to feel respected. It's not that hard to do.
I still want to run to you. Am I breaking through? Do you feel me too? Pando made it. I still wanna run to you.